Hey everybody, so today I wanted to do something kind of fun. Spitfire Audio is one of the most prominent, biggest sample library developers in the film scoring and cinematic music world. And I thought it'd be cool to, since I own so many of their libraries, basically do a little tier list of everything I have. So yeah, here we go. Let's jump in. I have a kind of variety of, here's basically every library I own that I could think of. There might even be more because, I've been buying Spitfire libraries for probably 7 or 8 years. And so it's almost an overwhelming amount. Let's start ranking these. Okay, so we'll start with Abbey Road 1. These are the film scoring selections. I'm going to put these in C tier. And the reason I'm going to do that is because the problem with these is the value. And you'll kind of see as I go throughout this, I'm going to do a mixture of quality and value. So the quality level is really good. They sound decent. However, the value, you're paying $50 just for woodwinds and $50 just for French horns. And to me, that's a little bit intense. I think I have sparkling woodwinds, thematic horns, thematic trumpets, mysterious reeds. And, part of the thing is I don't really use them that much. And I just don't think the value is there. I think you can, as you'll see as we go on, I think you'd be better off buying one of the all-in-one libraries that comes with everything. And as far as I know, they don't have a bundle for everything. I'm not seeing one, at least. It's just, this is too much to spend. $249 just for oboes. That's Banana Town. So I wouldn't recommend it, but I'm not going to put it in D tier because I don't think they're not bad quality, they're just a bad value. Abbey Road 2, I'm going to put this in, let's say B tier. These have a really unique sound, and I would describe the sound as very small and up close. It's basically like a group of soloists that you can use as sort of a little string quartet, basically. So what's cool about that is you can get this really detailed sound with them. And it's something you can't get in most other string libraries. And so I think it's a great one to have. And the only reason I would say B tier is because I just don't get to use them as much as I use other things. And I think that's going to be another factor. It's going to be value and also how often do I use them? So Loegria, this one I have to admit, I just got not too long ago. And so I don't have a ton of opinions, although it's got one of my favorite string sounds built in. And let's see what it runs for, $199. So that's a pretty, let's see if I do Albion. That's a pretty good deal, I would say. For $200, you're getting quite a bit of instruments. And so I think I would put that in, let's go high B tier. I might move it up to A later. It's $200 and you're getting a pretty large amount of instruments, but it's a little bit old school. It's it's kind of a legacy instrument. I might change my mind and move to A later, but let's see kind of how everything pans out first. Albion 1, I'm going to put in A tier because it's so useful. I think the value has gone down for me. If you can get this on sale, I wouldn't probably pay $400 for it. For that price, you could get Nucleus, I want to say. I believe here, yeah, $449. So for a little bit more, you could get Nucleus, which I think has a lot more in it. It's got, I think, actual legatos. So I would probably pick Nucleus over this, but if you can get a deal on this, like a really good Black Friday deal where it's kind of thrown in, then I think it's still a good value. And I just say A tier a little bit because it was one of the first libraries I ever got, and I used it for so long. It could probably go either way, A or B tier. Um, I'm going to go high B because I think there's more value here. BBC Symphony Orchestra. Now this is easily an A tier, almost an S tier. I have the core version. The only reason I don't put it in S tier is I do think there's other libraries that sound better, but the value for this is crazy. If I go to the core, I think the core is the perfect value. The Pro, I would say now you're getting into territory we could start buying other stuff. So if you can get the core for $399, actually, what I mentioned with Nucleus, I would probably still buy this over Nucleus. It's $500 cheaper, and it is a great interface. My only complaint with the interface is with all these newer Spitfire, the interface goes offline every once in a while, and I have to go to the Spitfire audio app and relink it and kind of all that nonsense. And so that can get kind of annoying, but it's manageable. And I would say you could buy this one library and just start going. So, we had talked about in another tutorial, Musio, and I still think Musio is a better entry point because you could pay $10 and just get going on Musio and have a lot more stuff, a lot more than just the orchestra. But if you don't like subscriptions and you want to just buy something and own it, this is a great buy. So I would definitely say A tier. It could almost be S tier. Some people might consider it S tier, but I think the reason I wouldn't is because there are other more detailed libraries out there. So chamber strings, I'm going to put in A tier as well. Now, this one is a little bit new in my catalog. Even though it's an old library. Let me go see how much the chamber strings are. So for $649, that's probably why I would not give it S tier, because just for strings, that's pretty expensive. However, they're ultra detailed. There are so many articulations. You got flautando and, just way more than you get in like something like Cinematic Studio strings. But it's a little bit older, and, there's a little more modern stuff out there now. So I would say really great. This is probably a better value, especially if you're starting out. But if you are kind of, been going longer and you want dedicated libraries that sound amazing, that's a great buy. Fractured strings, I'm going to put C tier. And again, this is not because it sounds bad. This is more out of use. This is one of those libraries where the notes are kind of pre-programmed in. And so it's like these gestures. And it's so niche. And, maybe you're the kind of person that writes this type of music. But for me, it's very few and far between when I can actually use that. Oldford Arnold Cells. I haven't used this a ton yet, but I did play around with it just for the sake of being able to rate it here. And I'm going to put this in B tier. It could go to A if I use it more. Maybe next year I'll redo this. But it's got a really nice sound quality, and there's a lot of what I would say useful, all kinds of instruments baked in. Let's go look at the page. The value is really good. It's not that much. So they've got kind of these, the full band, which I think is like strings, and what else we got in there? Mostly strings. Here we go. So there's synth bass, pads, warps, individuals, full band, gliss, medium. Yeah, so it's mainly strings. I'm gonna leave it here, and the only reason I would put it behind Abbey Road 2 is I think that's a little more useful more often. But yeah, it's got an amazing sound quality, and I'm gonna try to use it throughout this year, and maybe it'll move up in my list later. Okay, chamber evos, I'm gonna put in A tier. And the reason is because I have used this all the time. It's just got this nice movement to it. It's just like think of like a string library, like a flautando, but it's got a little extra movement, and then you can make it more aleatoric as you go. So if you want it really subtle, you can make it really subtle. If you want it more aleatoric, you can move the grid. I use the grid articulation, or it's the preset, and basically it introduces more crazier sounds into the mix. The next one is Cinematic Soft Piano. I'm gonna have to put this one probably B tier. Amazing value, $29. Great sound. It's a little stuffy. It can kind of get a little stuffy. And it doesn't work for everything, but it's got, if you want that specific sound, it's really good. I'm gonna go ahead and put the felt piano in the same spot. And the firewood piano, I'll probably put here, kind of in that order. And I just haven't used them a lot, even though I know what they sound like, and I have found better pianos in fractured sounds. I'll go to fractured sound. Fracture sounds. I believe right now these guys have the best pianos. I'm tempted to get this one. But if you are on a budget and you've got $29, you can buy 1, 2, 3. It will cost you $90 to get 3 different pianos. That's actually an amazing value. And their original series is just killer value. Okay, Originals Drumline, I'm gonna put in, let's go B tier, right about there maybe. This is pretty niche as well, but it's, as far as I know, the only drumline plugin out there. And it sounds like a real drumline. We actually recorded recently a real drumline, and we still are using this plugin on that project. We're making music for a sports show that has like college band stuff. So it's very like football centric, and we needed drumline sounds. And we're actually using this alongside the real drumline that we recorded, and a lot of times instead of it, the real one. So it's, my only complaint about this is they separated the rolls from the hits. And so you can't do like snare rolls and hits in the same patch. So I kind of wish they would rework their patches. So if anybody from Spitfire is listening, reach out to me and I'll tell you what I'm trying to think of is basically like, you know what I mean? If you want to roll into your hits, if you're familiar with how drum lines sound, you know what I'm talking about. And I think that would, instead of having a rolls patch, you would just have snares, and you would have rolls over here and hits over here. And actually, a good example of this is the way Cine Samples Percussion, CinePerc, does their timpani patch. They have rolls an octave below or 2 octaves below the hits. And so you can play it all in one patch, and it's really nice. You basically use your mod wheel to do the roll, and then you do the hit up here with your right hand. So you roll with your left hand and then hit with your right hand. So you can, it's just about speed. You know, it's really hard to program this. Okay, intimate strings. I'm gonna go S tier. $29, and I have used this so many times. Now, funny enough, I figured out that this was sampled from, if you go here, intimate strings, this was actually sampled from Loegria. Yeah, flautando, half section, and harmonics. And I tested it out today. I don't think it even says it on here, but yeah, it's actually sampled from Loegria. So if you go back to Loegria, I think we said it was $199. Yeah. So for $199, you get a ton of stuff with Loegria. Is that how you say it? It's a weird word. Loegria. for $199 you get Loegria with way more stuff. But Intimate Strings, I think the benefit of it is it's $29, and I would recommend it to anybody, beginner, advanced, anyone who's doing film scoring. And you can go look at my string library tutorial to see this. But at $29, it's maximum value, and it's super useful, and I use it all the time. So that's why it goes S tier. So great value, use it all the time, super versatile, and just always sounds great. A lot of times it sounds better than Cinematic Studio Strings, because I think the patch I use is like just the patch right when you drag the plugin open. It's the default patch and you just go. Sometimes I mess with the patch, and that's what I love, plugins where the default patch just sounds amazing. And when I looked at Cells earlier, their default patch sounds amazing, and it reminds me of Chamber Evolutions as well, but with like almost a better sound, more modern sound, like it's just really clear. So yeah, that gets S tier for me. Easy choice. Rare Flutes. I haven't got a huge chance to play with these. I'll put these in B tier because they've got a great sound just from what I played, but it's just flutes. It's kind of like world instrument flutes. Like there's different ones. It's not like so maybe high B tier. Maybe I would put it above, maybe right about there. Where'd they go? Maybe here, because it's such a great value. Resonate, I'm gonna put in B tier as well, probably right here. Really nice sounding percussion sounds. But only reason I didn't put an A is because, it's new for me. I don't use it all the time yet. Again, that could be something. This one, Resonate and Cells, maybe those will move up next year. Solo Strings, I'm gonna give easily a D tier. This is the wrong image here. The one I have is older, but I'll show you. So I have this one right here, and so the new one looks like this. I don't know if they reworked the same samples and just rebranded it, but my experience with this library was not great. The legato transitions aren't good. Just the sound quality isn't good. And so I quickly did not use that. Maybe they've made it better in the new one. But yeah, and then Union Chapel organ. I'll put this probably somewhere in here maybe. It's a great organ sound. I think you'd be better off getting the Piano Tech organ, Organ Tech. How much does that cost? $269. You can do a lot more with it. And let's check out, let's go back to Spitfire. $149. So, okay. So yeah, the Spitfire Union Chapel is $149. Organ Tech is, I think it said $149 or $269, sorry. And the Organ Tech, the cool thing about it is it's like Piano Tech, it's modeled, but there's a lot more things you can do with it, 50 built-in presets, whereas the Union Chapel is a little more limited. It's just, it's got basically these stops you can pull in and out. And so if you have the budget, I would say go Organ Tech. But if not, if you want to just spend $149, or you might find it on sale, then that's still a great one. And they've got other ones as well now. I almost bought the symphonic organ one time. Oh, see, $249. Yeah, it'd be fun to compare that, do a little comparison. I haven't messed with this one. This must be new. But yeah, so overall, Spitfire is a great company. I would recommend probably most of these libraries. At least everything in B tier up, I would still recommend purchasing. I wouldn't say anything here up was a regret or a waste of money. Now, a lot of this stuff I didn't buy at full price, like the Olaford Arnolds and the Resonate just came with the Loegria, because I really wanted to get, the story behind that is I found out that Intimate Strings was a sample of Loegria, and I was like, oh, what if I could get a whole, even more articulations of that same sound? And so they were doing a deal where they kind of lumped these together, these three, I want to say, on Black Friday. So the best time to buy Spitfire is Black Friday if you can wait. And, you know, they have sales all throughout the year. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. Tier lists are pretty fun, and I thought it'd be fun to do one with Spitfire, one of the companies I use the most out there. And yeah, what do you guys think? What are your favorite Spitfire libraries? Do you agree with the ones that I wasn't so excited about? Do you agree with the ones I love? Do you think there's ones I'm missing that I should maybe purchase next Black Friday? I'm kind of a little bit done purchasing libraries, but you never know. I might get the bug. You know, once you have a certain amount of libraries, you're like, I just need to write music. And of course, I've written a lot of music. But anyway, so yeah, I hope that was helpful. I think it's kind of a fun thing. I might do another tier list later. Maybe leave a comment and let me know what's another tier list you want to see. Maybe I've already done kind of the top 10 synths, but I could do a tier list of every synth I own. That might be kind of fun. On another note, I'm sure you've heard on our channel, I mentioned every video, but we are building a course. It's going to be called The Working Composer. And it's basically everything from extremely beginner composing all the way to, you know, creating music for different genre films, how to score a picture, how to use virtual instruments, and even the business side, contracts and things like that, and how to find jobs. So if that's something you're interested in, we'll put a link in the description and go check that out. And you can kind of just get on a list to find out, you know, more information about the course, and when we're going to release it, we'll, you know, send a little email out. Hey, there's we're probably going to do module at a time. So, hey, module 1's ready. You can buy in and get into the course early, or you can wait and buy it when it's fully done. And then also at the same time, we've released a free course. So I'll put a link to that as well. And yeah, you can just go to that and join the community. We have a circle community, and it's free to join, and you can watch the free course. And the course is score your first scene. So if you've never scored a scene before, you can watch Steven score a scene. And I think there's going to be an option to even download the same video clip, and you can score it yourself. So that'll be really cool. And yeah, go check it out if that's something you're interested in. And yeah, well, with all that said, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.